7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey everybody, it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving, and it is a big day for this little but very powerful guy right here, the WeCreat Lumos. And in fact, it's a great day for all WeCreat lasers because they are having their biggest sale of the year starting today on September 5th. You will get the very best prices ever on their lasers. So if you've been considering getting into laser engraving, there has never been a better time than right now. As you guys know, I've been testing this laser for several weeks now, and I promised to bring you a real world job from my shop using the WeCreat Lumos. And that's what I'm doing here in this video. You're gonna see a real world job where I do a laser engraving for an employee of NASA. This job paid just shy of $300. And it was a lot of fun to do. These kind of jobs can very quickly pay off your laser. Some of the standout features that jumped out to me right away using this machine were, one, it's incredibly user-friendly software, and two, it's awesome camera placement system. It's actually better than a laser that I own that's almost 3 times the cost of this that has a camera placement system. And the camera placement system on this little guy is way more accurate. You just can't beat it. And it really makes doing laser engravings quite easy. If that's not enough, it's the only laser in this class that I know of that's capable of doing vibrant color engravings on metal. That's typically something you only see in very expensive MOPA fiber lasers. I don't know how they did it, but it's really amazing. I even did this color test on titanium, and it's just beautiful colors because I'm gonna do a color engraving on a titanium cutting board for my wife. That's another project I'm gonna be working on soon. So there's just endless possibilities that you can do with this laser, and it's just awesome. Another quick reminder that I also started a separate laser engraving channel for all the laser engraving content that's not related to my main channel, which is knife sharpening and laser engraving. So if you want to see some of these other projects that don't have to do with engraving knives, you should sign up for my other channel, ALX Laser. I'll put the link in the description of this video. I've already done a video featuring the Norton white tile engraving method for the Lumos, showing how I did it, and it did a beautiful job on engraving some white tiles. In fact, I'll grab one right here for you and show you if you haven't seen it. This is one I did with my new logo, and I've been doing a whole bunch of them for my shop because I'm going to be featuring all the laser engraving jobs that I've done for customers. I'm going to be putting little plaques around the entire shop because that's how I decided I wanted to decorate it. So you can do your own personal projects for it too. And as I've shown before, it's just fantastic for doing your own advertising, business cards. For me, I do the bottle opener cards that I like to make and give out to my clients. There's just a ton of things that you can do to use your laser for your own advertising and to make money. So if that interests you, please make sure you sign up for my other channel and stay tuned for the great content that we have always had here on ALX Sharpen. So let's jump into this laser engraving job for NASA. This client was really great. He works at NASA. He's the head of a team there that works on a telescope. And these are gifts for his team members. And he provided me everything, which was also awesome. He provided me the logos, he provided me the names, the fonts, and absolutely everything they wanted to go on these Leatherman tools. And he provided me the tools. This is pretty much a rinse and repeat kind of a thing. Once we get the first one done, all of them are going to have the same thing on one side, and then on the other side, they're just being personalized with the employee's name. So it's a fairly quick job. This job took me about 3 hours, but I was doing other things and still working in my shop while this was going on. All I got to do, open the box, take the Leatherman tool out, put it under the laser, engrave the two sides of it, and then put it back together, and that's it. Sometimes their packaging can be a little more complicated on what you're engraving, especially tumblers and things like that. Knives, pretty simple. I love getting a test piece if I can. If the person doesn't mind buying an extra one, just in case we want to do testing on it. The good thing, knives are pretty straightforward, so I'm never really concerned about being able to put a nice black mark on a knife. Where it gets a little more challenging is if people bring in coated knives and things like that, which you do see a lot of. There are powder coated knives. When you're talking your basic, regular stainless steel knife, like this stainless steel Leatherman tool, it's fairly simple. And as long as you stick to just doing the very typical black engraving on it, you're good to go. Just know that if it's an expensive knife, a person's probably not going to be inclined to do a bunch of testing on it. What we're doing here, we're doing a very simple black engraving on these multi-tools. The next thing that's really important when you're doing an engraving, especially on knives, is having them level. So I have this old laser leveling tool that I like to use, but whatever you got to do to level it, you can prop things under it, whatever you need to do. But you want to make the surface that you're engraving as level as possible. I like to use a little spirit level just to check it in both directions. And as long as it's relatively close to being in the middle, you're usually good to go. The next part, simply focusing. Now, I've mentioned before with knives and things that are reflective, I often like to do the focusing manually, even though it has autofocus. Reflective surfaces or shiny surfaces can be tough for just about any autofocusing system. This one's so easy. I bring the two dots together. Since they're two different colors, you can see here it kind of turned purple. I now know they're crossed and in the right spot. So very simple setup here. These are nice size, so I can easily kind of be able to close this and do my engraving completely enclosed. We're going to do this first test unit, and I'm going to now switch over to the computer, show you artwork setup and what we have going on there. Once we have this going, then we're going to just start going one tool after another after another. Now, my plan here is to do all the one side. Every knife is getting the same thing on one side, and then the other side is going to be personalized with their name and a NASA logo. We're going to do the consistent one that's going to be on every single knife. We're going to do that one all first, one after another. Then the second part, I'll worry about doing the personalization. So let's jump to the computer. And there's the knife under there. I'm going to have to adjust some of this down a little bit in size. And that looks about right. I'm feeling pretty good with that. And I'm just going to adjust my framing manually. So I'm going to hit start, and it's going to give me my frame rectangle option. I'm going to turn that on, and now I'm going to go look at the laser. Okay, and that looks excellent. You can see our little blue box showing us exactly where that engraving is going to go on the Leatherman tool. So now I'll just go back to the computer, hit start, and then I have to go back to the laser and hit the button on the top. And you can see the engraving is underway. And each one of these, the one side took around 10 to 15 minutes. And there's the finished one side. And you can see I just did one after another to knock these out. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, my client gave me all of the names with the proper writing and font and everything. So I'm literally just pulling in the file and bringing a name in and doing them one by one and just swapping the name out when I go to the next tool. Very simple stuff. Just the most important thing is just staying organized, just to make sure you don't do a name 2 times by accident. And with the camera on the Lumos, it really makes it great because you take a picture of the item and then I just kind of go in and place it. And then I can confirm it with my little laser box that I showed you earlier. And it's that simple. It's just literally just placing stuff, putting it on there. picking the right settings and engraving away. And before you know it, you have an entire job finished. Now, the great thing about this job, it paid just shy of $300. A job like this, you would only have to do around 4 jobs of this size, and you have your laser paid off. And that's one of the things I realized very quickly when I first got into laser engraving. When I got my first laser and had it paid off in about 3 months, if you can land some decent size jobs that are multiple things as opposed to just one little thing here and there, and I do everything. I don't care if it's one item or if it's 150 items. The bigger jobs are really nice though, because they do help you pay your equipment off and get into that profit zone much sooner. All right, scissor sharpeners and shear sharpeners. Here's a really easy upsell for you. And this is something I always keep an eye out for, because you will see this too. These scissors came in and the person tried to scratch their initials into them so they wouldn't get, I guess, mixed up with other stylists. When I see this, I always offer laser engraving. It's such an easy upsell for your scissor clients. I have also done this on scissor jobs where I've had a ton of really odd scissors that came in where they were on different angles, maybe on each blade. I have a lady that owns a upholstery service where she and her girls are cutting all kinds of material all day long. Some of the shears are really old and have some really interesting angles on them, and I've had to take them all apart and clean them and figure out what all the angles were on them. And so I don't have to go through a whole bunch of pain every time they come in, because they come in about 3 times a year. I actually laser marked inside of each blade what the angle was so that I don't have to go look for it again when they come in. So there's a lot of really great uses for a laser, and some of them can be just to make your life a little bit easier. So if you're brand new with your laser in your knife sharpening shop or whatever type of small business you have, I encourage you, get creative with it. Come up with ways to use it. Come up with ways to upsell it. Someone comes in with 5 pairs of scissors. Today we're offering a special. You can get all your scissors engraved for $5 a pair. Would you like all 5 pairs of your scissors engraved? You'd be amazed at how often they will take that deal to have something like this. And literally, this takes seconds to do. This is not a long job like the engraving for NASA. Every little bit helps, and it helps you towards paying off that tool to make it profitable. Hey everybody, in closing out this video, I wanted to give you a few thoughts on the Lumos, how I feel about it now after using it. I still stand by what I said in my very first video, which is I think it is truly the very best entry-level laser on the market today. Its competition really doesn't stand up to it. If you're going to compare its closest competitors, you're talking machines that were made anywhere from 3 to 4 years ago and have made no major improvements in power or in their features. With the Lumos here, you're getting a beautiful laser with a camera placement system with 1 watt more of power than most of its competitors. That 1 watt makes a really big difference, but the beam focus technology and that extra watt gives you an absolutely beautiful engraving that is in the metal. We're not just talking surface marking here, we are talking an actual engraving. When I do my bottle opener business cards, which I give out to my clients on the Lumos, I can see the vaporized metal on top of the card, which is the same thing that my fiber lasers do. So I know it's in there, and you have no doubt about it because you can feel that it's in there. It's not just perfectly smooth. This is a much more powerful laser than its competition. When you throw in the fact that you got the blue laser too, and that opens you up to all kinds of other materials, it's really hard to not want to jump into laser engraving with something like this. The other question I get from a lot of people is, how does it compare to a fiber, and what's the biggest difference between it and your fibers? The biggest difference, for one, is the price, depending on what company you buy it from, anywhere from $1,000 and up more. The other thing is you are only getting one laser most likely for that particular fiber laser unless you're buying a dual laser system like some of the companies have out there. But now I can guarantee you, you are paying far more than just $1,000 more. In some cases, some of the current ones are $4,000 and $5,000 more than this laser. So you get two lasers with this machine. You have about 300 plus materials that you can engrave with it. And it's just a fantastic entry level machine. What is the other big difference? The one's gonna be time. One of my fiber lasers to do a card like this is gonna be much faster. It's gonna be much quicker at doing something like this. It doesn't mean that the Lumos isn't capable of doing it, because I've shown that it can. It absolutely can do all of the stuff that I give out and use for my own advertising. Does it take longer? Sure, it takes longer, but it's doing it at much less of a cost out of pocket to get into laser engraving. And I have more videos coming out soon to show you some other really cool tricks. I have a video that I'm going to be showing you how I do my bottle opener business cards. And one of the really cool things, because of this having a dual laser, is I'm going to show you how you can speed that process up just by using a slightly different material. Just because it may not be as fast as a fiber laser, it doesn't mean that you still can't produce stuff relatively quickly. And stay tuned for that, because that'll be another video I'm doing on the Lumos when I show you how I make my bottle opener business cards. So that's it for now. For those of you that have decided to jump in with the Lumos, I hope you're having a great time with it. I did want to address one more question. Some people have asked me, Paul, should I get the other accessories that come with the Lumos? And that totally depends upon you and what you want to do with your laser. I will tell you, the minute I got my first laser, within a week, I had people asking me to do tumblers. So I think a rotary is definitely not a bad item to have. I have several rotaries in my shop for doing tumblers because I do them quite often. I think the slide extension is also not a bad idea. The one thing I love about the Lumos is it's the first laser that I've ever seen where you can put the rotary on the slide extension and do big items, like the one that they feature in some of their videos shows it engraving a baseball bat, which I think is just awesome, because I've been asked before if I could engrave a baseball bat, and I never thought about doing it that way. I never had a laser that I could fit it under. I don't think you can go wrong if you think you're gonna use them. If you don't know for sure that you're going to use them, I don't know that I would invest in them right away. You can always add them down the road and pick up these other items. But if you think you will use them, they can be nice to own. And I will say this, another nice thing about having a laser is there's been plenty of times my wife and I have needed a gift for something, and my wife has said, hey, can you go make me something and, put this or that on it, and we give it away as a gift. So it's really great to have your own little just personalized gift machine around. The more you use it, you're going to realize it's really nice to have a laser in your house. So that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. And if you have any questions about the Lumos, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll try and get to them as quick as I can. Have a great day, everybody.